Welcome to 1996, a TV drama idea by Sabrina John. 1996 is about four children that spend their summer holidays outside discovering the world around them, and while doing so they discover the body of Alyosha, a 7-year-old boy. The autopsy shows that he has been tortured over the past 3 weeks he's been missing, and was only killed hours before the children discovered his body. The police gets on the tail on Armin, who is a very obvious character to do such a cruel thing. Then Martin goes missing, one of the children, and his friends know that they are running out of time to find their friend alive. While the police is so focused on making Armin the person that they are looking for, they don't see clues and hints that point onto someone else that is the killer, which is a 16-year-old boy named Sebastian. First thing I want to talk about is the characters that form and shape the story of 1996. Alyosha is the boy that gets the whole story moving, and looking at his personal traits, it makes it clear what the killer is going for. This brings us to Martin. Martin has a similar personality and a similar background to Alyosha, and therefore he was the perfect next victim. His friend Felix loves Martin dearly and is the driving force within the kids to push forward and to try to find Martin alive. But as he is a little hot-headed, he definitely is lucky that he has the girls on his side. Both are just as eager to find Martin alive, but both girls also act more rational and thoughtful, and the two girls, plus Felix's energy, help solve the case, and so they find Martin alive in the end. Jule, Svenja and Felix also represent what the killer is not looking for. Where there is a crime scene, there must be suspects. Our suspects are Armin and Sebastian. Armin is very obvious bad character, very nasty behavior, very creepy behavior towards children. So therefore he seems to be the perfect candidate that has something to do with the missing boys. The police is so fixed on Armin that they don't see another monster that is right in front of their eyes. They miss clues, they miss all the signs that point towards Sebastian. Sebastian is a monster with a very tragic past, which made him the monster he is. And because the police is so fixed on Armin, Sebastian can go on abusing Martin in his backyard. Where we have bad characters, there must be good characters. In order to solve the cases of Alyosha and Martin, we have the good characters, the Homicide Squad, which consists of Holger Kruse and Astrid Kludt. Both are quite similar in their personalities. Both are workaholics. Both are very determined to solve the case. Holger has more experience and doesn't allow himself to have much free time next to it. So he can't really get a breather to maybe clear his mind and see different points of views. And Astrid, on the other hand, who admires his analytic skills, does not realize that she, in certain terms, is actually better than him because she allows herself to have a private life. She's not the most social person, but she can take a breather, she can take a break, she can refocus, and therefore she finds clues, she finds things that Holger does not see or not realize. Both together make great investigators. They find things together that other people might never discover. And yet the two of them can't see Sasha. It needs the children to find the monster and stop him. But in the very end, they are there and immediately help the children to get Martin into safety. And then we have our teenagers, Annika and Sasha, who are mainly part of the C story. Both of them together find clues, and they bring clues to the light. They find things in the woods, they find dead cats in the woods, and they talk about it. They talk about it to the police squad, they talk about it to the children, and yet they don't make the connections that Sebastian is the killer. But because they're openly talking about it and finding these things, they are helping the children to understand that Sebastian is the killer, and the teenagers help the children to make out where the killer sits and what he's doing. So the teenagers are very important to bring everything to a resolution. The story of 1996 is based on my hometown Wolgast, which is located in the very northeast of Germany, in East Germany. And every places that will be important and that will be mentioned in the series are based on real places. On this map, you can actually see how close locations are to each other, where they are located, and that it makes sense for the story where things are discovered and where things are going lost and where people live and where people are. We have three settings. We have the nature where the children discover the bad things like the body of Alyosha, where Martin goes missing and where they find dead cats in a bag that have been tortured by Sebastian. Then we have the town, which is like a small seaside town. It's a quiet town, it's a peaceful town, and something so gruesome happened in that town has never happened there before. And then we have the allotments located far outside the town. There's a lot of nature in between where, as I said, everything happens or everything bad really happens. And the allotments are quite outside located. Now, this graphic is an overview of how the story of 1996 is unfolding from episode 1 to episode 6. Each episode can be seen as a different part of the journey. The first episode is the inciting incident, then the journey goes on in episode 2, then we have a crisis in episode 3 and 4, the climax in 5, and the resolution in 6, although each episode will have its own same structure from incident, journey, crisis, climax, and resolution. We see that the story starts in episode 1 with A and B story, and C story starts in episode 2, and we see that A and B story kind of connect and overlap with each other. Then it goes a little bit more linear, all on their own. Then they all come together and connect again. And this is necessary to understand that this connection and overlapping of A and B and C story will eventually lead to the resolution to find Sebastian. A potential audience for 1996 most likely would be people of 16 years and older, but more likely adults from the age of 30 to 45 who also feel nostalgic about the 90s and who are more likely to process such a horrible story with horrible topics such as murder, torture, pedophilia. They can process this a lot better than younger people or younger adults can. And it's also a creation for people that enjoy crime and drama, crime drama. And people that are okay with being shocked, with seeing cruel things on television, but it's not just intended for a wide audience. It's intended to talk to all genders and all ethnicities, although the diversity in this show might be relatively low. And it's probably something for people who do watch Amazon Prime, Netflix, Sky, HBO, with lots of high-end television shows. As a potential broadcaster, I've chosen Sky, which I think 1996 could fit in best. 1996 is a very shocking TV show with shocking elements, with dark elements, and Sky is a broadcaster that does want something that can shock, that's something that is not ordinary, and that sticks into people's head, with characters that stick into people's heads, and which is standing out. And 1996 with its dark topics is standing out, is creating an impact on people. And it's very, I would say, brave and unconventional to talk about those topics. Um, and it also worked together, like Sky worked together with HBO to create Chernobyl, which was quite dark and maybe quite risky even to produce it, considering that things are discovered in this show that was maybe not known to the public, and therefore it was quite risky to produce it. Um, and it's a limited show, and 1996 is a limited show, so they might be willing or they might be very interested to produce 1996 as a program that their audience would love and enjoy to watch, although it's dark and sad. So this was 1996. I hope everything about my idea is clear, and thank you for listening. And if there's any questions, I'm very happy to answer all of them. Thank you.